Welcome back to our Sekiro 100% walkthrough. In the previous episode we made our way back up to the top of Ashina Castle after it was overrun by Ministry Ninjas, and in this episode we're going to be finishing the game with ending number 1, also known as the Shura ending. My name is Azzavhar or Azza. Now let's get into the video. So we've got a couple of different options with what we can do here. We can do the developer intended way of getting all 4 endings, which is playing the game through 4 times and getting a different ending each time. Or we can be a little bit cheeky and create a backup save file, then go and fight the boss, finish the game, get ending number 1, quit the game, and then we can restore the game to this point using the backup save file. By using the backup save strategy, you will be able to get the achievements and the trophies, but you won't be able to keep the combat skill that you unlock for completing the game with the Shura ending. To keep that combat skill on your save file, you'll have to complete the game and then start your next playthrough. Not only that, but the outfit that you unlock for the Shura ending, you also won't get to keep that by using this backup save strategy. So you can choose whichever one you want to do, it's entirely up to you. We're doing this on PC, so we're creating backup files and folders. It is possible to do this on PlayStation 4, and I do believe it's possible to do it on Xbox as well. So here's how we do this on the PC. I'm going to Alt-Tab over to Files and Folders, and then we go C Drive, Users, Your Name, App Data, Roaming, Sekiro, and then it's the folder that has all the numbers. The folder that has all of the numbers is your main Sekiro save file. And before moving any of these files and folders, make sure to save and quit out of Sekiro first. The only reason that we're able to keep Sekiro open in the background is because I've created a test folder specifically for this YouTube video. I'm just going to show you that file path again real quick. So C drive, and then users, and then it will say your name or your PC name, and then app data, and then roaming, and then Sekiro. And how the backup will work is we right click, new folder, call this something like Shura, and then we need to Control C to copy the main save folder here, go into the Shura folder, paste it into there. So now we've created a backup of the main save folder in the Shura folder here. And then the idea with this is once we've gone and killed the boss and got ending number 1, to put the game back to the point before we fought the boss, you would then go into the Shura folder, we would copy this folder that's inside the Shura folder, and we'd then paste it back into the Sekiro folder and replace the folder with the bunch of numbers. And what that will do is then revert the game back to this point before we ever went up and fought the last boss. And like I did mention before, just make sure to save and quit out of Sekiro before moving any files and folders. Or you don't have to do any of that and you can just do playthrough 2 and just play through the game a second time. The choice is entirely up to you. And with all that being said, let's prepare for the battle and get into the boss fight. So let's check out our quick items. We're going to be using some Akko Sugar, Divine Confetti, and Fistful of Ash. It's also worth pointing out here, I would recommend bringing in some dowsing powder to the fight as well, as there might be some fire and the burn status. If you need to bag any dowsing powder, I believe you can grab some from the merchant at the Dilapidator Temple. So other than that, let's push on and jump into the fight. So you just run, jump out here. You can talk to this NPC here who says the Divine Heir and Lady Emma are being targeted at the top of Ashina Castle. So let's go check it out. Looks like there are some shenanigans happening. We've got Kuro.
I heard stories of your death.
But who could Kuro be talking to? That is the question. It appears to be Owl, Sekiro's father, who was supposed to be dead.
No.
We saw him die in the Hirata memory 3 years ago. So head on over to Owl. He is rather tall. And what's happening here in the story is Owl has made his way up to the top of Ashina Castle. He's trying to capture Kuro and use Kuro for his power of resurrection, so that Owl can take over Ashina and rule the land. And now let's talk to Owl and initiate the last boss fight for the Shura ending. So we have two options here. We can obey the Iron Code and forsake Kuro, or we can break the Iron Code and stay loyal to Kuro. So for this particular ending, we need to be pressing forsake Kuro, and then forsake Kuro again, and let us begin. This is my favorite music in the entire game right here. We're going to pop Echo and Divine. Jump over that one. So a couple of different bits and bobs that Emma can do. That's the Doctor's Grab, but you can follow that up after she's done it. That's 4 attacks this one, 4 attacks in a row. You can perfect parry each one and follow it up with your own attack. That's going to be Ashen across, make sure to run, and you can follow that up after it's done. So Doctor's Grab, watch out for that, run away, follow it up. It's going to be a Perilous, you can carry that. I'm going to try and show you the Ash, if she gives us a second. That's going to be Ashen across. Try and get the Ash out, there we go. You can use that to get some extra attacks on Emma. So you can attack her like that from behind. Or you could also use a combat art, but I'm going to specifically use one that doesn't use spirit emblems because I want to save the spirit emblems to show you a little bit of a strategy on the next fight. Watch out for Ashen across. So I'll show you the Ash and Ichimonji. Just kind of like dodge behind her and then use the combat arts. You can follow that up. And that's the fight. Shura. I always feel so bad for killing Emma. And you can also use Echo here and Divine to start the next phase. I'm not sure if the Divine actually popped there. I don't think it did. It didn't. This one we're going to be using Whirlwind Slash on phase 1. It's going to be a Perilous. If he walks over to the side like that, get ready to Makiri his Perilous. What we can do here is kind of back up, get some distance, run towards, hold RB. He'll parry the attack, use slide, and then follow up with Whirlwind Slash. You can do different things. So if he does the parry like that, just slide straight away, follow it up with Whirlwind Slash. Sometimes he'll do that little sidestep dodge thing. If he does that sidestep, you have to delay your slide very slightly. Sometimes do that one as well. You just do a Makiri counter for that. Run away, run towards. That's the one. You have to delay your slide very, very slightly for that one. The parry, you can just slide straight away. It's going to be it. There we go. So sometimes you'll try and close the distance, so just be aware of that. Like if you're trying to run away, sometimes you'll try and close the distance between you and him. So if you do get into that kind of situation, just try and block and parry the best that you can do, if that does happen. So that's kind of phase 1. It's relatively quite consistent. And then we'll push to phase 2. I'm just going to use Divine Confetti because I'm going to show you a strat at the start of phase 2. So we've got Divine Confetti on. I'm going to go to menu, use Yashariku. And then there we go. So that was a combination of Yashariku Divine, and then we used Firecrackers and Whirlwind Slash. So feel free to keep popping that over and over and over. You'll notice that his health is now very, very low. And if you want to get rid of the Yashariku sugar effect at this point, you can then pop a different sugar, for example, Ungo. That will give you your HP back again. So, a couple of extra moves here. This is why you would bring the dousing powder, so if you get caught in that fire, you can pop one of those. I'll try and show you as much as I can with this fight. Some of his movesets in Phase 2 are identical to Phase 1. That one's going to be like fire shooting towards you. Basically in Phase 2 there's just a lot more fire. He's a fire starter. A twisted fire starter. So on this one, watch out for the flames on the floor. You kind of wait for him to come forward, and then you dodge to the side, and then dodge again. I'll try and show you that one a few more times if we can do. That one, he will do that. You can jump over and attack. At this point, you could also pop on Mortal Draw, because we use the Spirit Emblems for that phase transition. It's going to be a Perilous. You can still use the same kind of strat from Phase 1. That's the distance closer that I mentioned before, that one there. At this point, feel free to use other items as well. If you're going to reset your save file, you could use, for example, Rice, Divine Grass, and then if you're going to reset your save file, it doesn't really matter because you will get them back anyway. However, if you're not going to reset your save file, then perhaps hold on to some of those items if you do want to keep them. I'm going to pop some Rice at this point and jump back in. That's the Doctor's Grab. That's pretty cool there, because that shows that Ishin has learnt some skills and techniques from Emma, and Emma has also learnt some skills and techniques from Ishin. So I just think that's pretty cool. You can still use the run forward and attack like so. That will still work. Here's that attack again, so watch out for the flames. You can also follow that up with Mortal Draw now and do massive damage. He's going to do a sort of long fire attack when he does that one. He's going to do 2 swings with that one. You can then follow it up, jump over the fire. It's going to be Ashin across. You can also follow that up. A bit too far away for that one, but you get the idea. It's going to be a fire towards me. Doctor's Grab. It's going to be this one again. So with that, basically just look for an open space on the floor that doesn't have fire. And then I basically like ready myself for the attack. Slide through his attack and then slide behind him again when we see that one. I'll try and show you. That's going to be a 1-2 fire. It's going to be a fire all the way across the arena for that one. It's going to be a Perilous and Makiri for that one. I'm going to try and show you perhaps this one more time. can also follow that up with Mortal Draw. It's going to be fire across the arena, jump to the side. You can follow that up the side. It's going to be a 1-2 fire. Should be able to also do that one where you run towards and then he parries. So you can still do that like we did in phase 1, so just keep that in mind. It's going to be a carry counter there. You could also use that chance there to like use some healing items and stuff, like when you're behind him. So if you need to pop some items or some rice or something like that, you can also use that. That's going to be a 1-2 fire. We shall finish the fight there, I think.
Sekiro, it was not to be.
And there we go. Memory Ishin Ashina. And that is the combat skill there, One Mind, which is a really cool combat skill.
That took a while.
And here we have the final cutscene. So Owl approaches us.
Was well worth the wait.
He's actually holding something in his hand, slightly off camera.
Despite his age,
He places it down on the ground right now. And in his other hand, he's also got the Black Mortal Blade.
expect no less from my own.
So in
Now nothing stands.
one of our previous episodes, we got some lore on the Black Mortal Blade.
The interior ministers.
You'll notice the blade has got a sort of like a black
Taking.
aura,
I
like a black glow coming from it. Sword through the chest from behind. And if you remember, in the Hirata memory from 3 years ago, we also got a sword in our chest from behind as well. So who could have put that sword in our chest from behind 3 years ago? And Sekiro picks up the Black Mortal Blade.
No! You're... You can't be Shura!
And there we have it. You'll also then be prompted with this message here which says start playthrough 2 now, yes or no. For now I'm just going to press no, and that will pop us back at the dilapidated temple, I do believe. It also unlocks something here called the Gauntlet of Strength, which is basically where you fight a bunch of bosses in a row to test your shinobi strength. You also unlock an outfit for getting the Shura ending, which is the outfit called Sekiro, which is quite interesting because that is the name of the sculptor. So if you want to, you can then go to this, idle, press change form, you can press another's memory Ashina. And this outfit is the memory of Sekiro, which was the sculptor when he was younger. And for this episode here, I think we shall wrap this one up. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, remember to like, subscribe and drop a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.